This is an Old Gamer Rants, episode 6 for the weeks of March 11th, 2017. GDC, Nintendo Switch a success? No Man's Sky updated, and other stories. Hello Gamers Bay! I am Mike, and welcome to an Old Gamer Rants. This is our bi-weekly news and rant show where I talk about five random news stories that I found interesting from the gaming industry. If we don't get everything, we don't report everything. So if we missed something that you think should have been on the show, let us know in the comments below, and let's talk about these stories. Here on YouTube and on Google+. You'll find the thread for this show in the Gamers Bay community. Now, we don't cover everything, and we try to cover interesting stories, stuff I found interesting, stuff some other people found interesting, some stuff that was posted in the Gamers Bay forum, Gamers Bay community, other stuff that I found in my own searching for news. So let's get to it. GDC took place this week. Now, the Game Developers Conference is basically a big convention where game developers come together and they talk about the technology for making video games. They'll have workshops, seminars, they'll show tech demos of new stuff for the Unreal Engine 4 and Unity, and it gets into the technical side of how a game is built. How the previous event that took place, the DICE event, that was more about games as art, about the aspects of storytelling and story structure and everything on that side of game design. This show, the GDC, this covers the technical side of game design. This covers creating shader effects, affecting load times, all of that. This is that aspect of the gaming industry. The side talking about the technology side. Not much in the way of new game announcements, though there were a couple. PAX East just started, so we'll have some new game announcements from that in the next show. So we'll have a lot from that in the next show because a lot of new games are shown off at PAX East. Not as many at GDC. There are some, not as many, mostly talking about the technology behind games. And then after PAX East is E3. And E3 is the big show where we'll see a lot of new announcements. We'll see, the big media events held by all the large game companies. Some of them at E3, some of them during E3 and held in their own locations, not actually a part of E3 itself. But I wanted to let you know, GDC 2017 took place. An interesting event. I saw some of the seminars and panels that were live streamed. More interesting, I saw one on Unreal Engine 4 that was pretty fascinating of what they're able to do with it. Pretty interesting stuff. Technology is really evolving. Nintendo's doing actually pretty good with the Switch. The Switch is their best-selling hardware to date. Now, the launch of the Switch has not been without its problems. The left Joy-Con keeps desyncing, and some people are saying that the screen gets scratched really easy. Should have used a Gorilla Glass, and really, if you do get a Switch and it's available, I suggest getting a screen cover. Get a screen protector. It is basically a piece of plastic or a very thin piece of glass with adhesive on it that you can put over the glass of the touchscreen. It allows you to still use the touchscreen while having the sheet on it. I have it on all of my devices. I have it on my tablet that I have right here. I have one on my phone that protects it from scratches, and it's made of Corning glass, so it's very scratch resistant, and that's what you need for the Switch. I'm fairly certain they do have those out there, and if not, they'll be out soon. And also, keep your Switch, if you have one, in a protective case. If you have one, there are several available out there that you can get. And when you put the Switch in your dock, be very careful, be mindful that you can scratch the screen with the plastic of the dock. Also, D-Brand, that makes decals for controllers and game consoles and laptops to give you custom colors and custom coverings on your electronics, and now even on your phones. They've said that Nintendo used cheap plastic for the Switch because the adhesive they used for their coverings was eating the plastic. So there's also that. Now, did Nintendo cheap out in making the Switch? Possibly to keep the price down. It's not outside the realm of possibility. In order to have enough money to build out the technology of the console, they could have cheaped out on the plastic. It depends. But overall, the Switch has been a good thing for them. This may have been driven by Zelda, which, frankly, it's a great game. Zelda's awesome. We've been playing it here on the Wii U. It is definitely deserving of all the praise it's getting. So this has been a good thing for Nintendo. It means they're still in the game. People love the concept of having a game console that is portable, but also can plug into a dock and be played on your TV. They love that idea. No Man's Sky has gotten an update, and it's... First, let me talk about the good stuff about this. This gives you a whole plethora of new tech, new components for your base, for building out your base, new structures for your base. It gives you a whole bunch of new technology for your ship and your gear and weapons. And you also get ground vehicles. Now, the ground vehicles currently can only be used on your homeworld. That's going to be changed. It's going to be changed because of some feedback by my roommate who has been playing through the update a lot more than I have, because I've been playing through some other stuff for Gamers Bay. But he's been playing a whole lot of it, and he submitted a huge bug report to Hello Games, and his bug reports in the past have actually been addressed. They've actually been fixed. He's gotten some feedback from Hello Games on them. So he's been submitting more bug reports to them, telling them what needs to be fixed. And this patch introduced a whole lot of new bugs that really should not have been there. But overall, the game is really getting to where it should have been. What Sean Murray had promised us, it's headed that way. You can share bases. You can share bases via Steam Workshop. So people can access a base that you made and go visit it. And they're also what we're seeing is the possible beginnings of multiplayer. The very possible beginnings of multiplayer. Now, what I'm expecting is the next update will likely be the Explorer update. They haven't really done much space, or the space part of the game, where you're actually in your ship and you're going from star system to star system. There hasn't been much in the way of updates for this. You got new weapons and other tech for your ship. They haven't really done much for when you're out in space. They've done a whole lot for when you're on the planet. For space, they haven't changed much at all. I'm expecting that the next update will be for when you're out in space. That will be the Explorer update. I'm just naming it that. It may be something else, but it's how the logical projection is going on. It could be the Explorer update next time, about six to 9 months from now. So let's look forward to that. I mean, the game's starting to really shape up. This patch introduced a lot of bugs, but Hello Games is actually listening to people who are submitting bug reports. So that's a good thing. They still need to have more dialogue with us, with the users. They still need to do that. They're not doing that, but at least they are listening to feedback. And they are slowly getting the game to where it should have been at launch. Elder Scrolls Legends has come out of open beta. This is basically Bethesda's Elder Scrolls themed collector's card game. Basically their own version of Gwent or Hearthstone. And it's gotten popular. It's gotten fairly popular. These particular types of games, these trading card games, have gotten fairly popular recently. Hearthstone is massively popular. The Blizzard's Warcraft and Starcraft themed trading card game, and Nintendo's Pokemon is still going pretty strong. So these game franchises is doing well, and there's even an esports tournament around these card games. And you can even play a card game in Final Fantasy XIV. And there's also the Gwent game from the Witcher series is also available as a standalone game. So they're getting pretty popular out there. And 2 new games were announced. Actually, one was kinda announced. Borderlands 3 is coming. This was announced during a tech demo for Unreal Engine 4. This was announced during a tech demo for Unreal Engine 4. They announced that they are working on the 3rd Borderlands game. So, fans of Borderlands, we're finally getting a 3rd game in the series. And based on what was said, it may take place on more than just Pandora. We may actually go to other worlds. Instead of just on Pandora or Pandora's moon, we might go to several planets this time. We may be able to actually travel around. The next announcement was sequel to Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. And this one's looking interesting. Basically, you have another Ring of Power, and you are challenging Sauron. This is an alternate reality version of the Lord of the Rings story that takes place during the Lord of the Rings trilogy, when Sauron is building up his armies. His fortress of Barad-dûr has been rebuilt. The Eye of Sauron is at the top of the tower. He's building up his forces of Uruks, Orcs, and Uruk-hai. And you, playing as the main character from Shadow of Mordor, you are taking over portions of his army through the power of your Ring of Power. And you are challenging Sauron's authority in Mordor. You are fighting back against him. You are taking control of huge fortresses and outposts. You have allies now. They've expanded the whole system where you have allies now that fight on your side. You can have spies infiltrate other forces to work for you and everything. It looks fascinating. It looks really good, and I would love to play it when it comes out. WB is not exactly the friendliest when it comes to YouTubers. They're not quite as bad as Nintendo, but they're not that friendly towards YouTubers. So that's why I haven't done any videos on Shadow of Mordor. When that changes, I may do some videos on that. And I would love to be able to do some videos for Shadow of War when this comes out. But this really looks promising. And we'll have likely more to see from PAX. The PAX is taking place this weekend, and we'll likely see a whole lot more from it and a whole lot of new games. And remember the video I posted when I was talking about the whole thing with Nintendo? And I originally wanted to use it as the special comment for today's episode, and decided not to, because I wanted to talk about this. Now, anyone that's been following YouTuber Jim Sterling knows that he has been embroiled in a lawsuit for a long time with Digital Homicide. Well, that lawsuit was basically thrown out the window recently, and which is a good thing. It's a good thing for games journalism. And now another company that makes iffy, crappy games, makes a game called Airport Master, which is not really that good, is attacking Jim Sterling again. This time they're using trademarks. They're saying that he infringed upon their trademark. And I like seeing everything that's going on here and all the details of exactly what's going on. And they go, when are these companies going to learn that attacking people who do reviews, attacking game journalists is not going to help you? Acting like children when someone gives your game a critical review is not going to reflect good on you. If someone gives you a bad review, you act like a child and you attack them. Not just verbally, you try to file some kind of legal thing against them for giving you a bad review, but you try to attack them like this using trademark infringement. What's that gonna make you look like? Oh, someone gave us a bad review of our game. Well, let's attack this person. Let's punish them for giving us a bad review. How do you think the public's going to look at that? How do you think what do you think they're going to think about that? That you're attacking somebody for giving you a bad review. What do you think they're going to think about that? What kind of impression is that going to give the public? That you are petty. That you are petty and immature. That you can't accept criticism. That you can't handle criticism. And there have been game developers out there who just cannot handle criticism at all. And they act like children. And when will companies learn that you cannot do crap like this? You simply cannot. You attack the press for game journalists, game reviewers for poor reviews. Well, if your game gets a bad review and he tried to give your game the benefit of a doubt, and Jim, I know I've watched Jim's videos long enough to know he's not the kind of person that would give a game a bad review just because. He would give it a bad review because it's a bad game. So if your game got a crappy review, it was most likely deserving of a bad review. Then what you need to do is not get a team of lawyers together. What you need to do is fix your game. Stop making your first reaction to this stuff to head straight to the courtroom. You are not entitled. You are not entitled to our money. You may be in business to make money. You make games to make money. You may be entitled. Not entitled, but you may be in business to make money. But that doesn't mean that you are entitled to that money. You are not guaranteed that money. When you make a game and you put it out for sale, you are not guaranteed that everyone will buy it and everyone will like it. There are some people who won't. There are some people who will not like your game. And you must learn to accept that there will be people who don't like it. And if there are people who don't like it and they say they don't like it, then you must learn to live with that. You must learn to either do something about it to fix it so that they might like it, fix the issues that they think that the game has so that they will like your game and give it a better score, fix those issues, or simply accept that not everyone likes your game and just move on. You don't run to the courtroom. You are not entitled to money. You are not entitled to good reviews for your games simply because you're a company. You are not. This is a fallacy that has grown up over the whole. This has come out of the ever since the whole Citizen United thing came up. Companies have been acting as if they have all these rights to do all sorts of things, whatever they want to do, without consequence. Ever since that's happened, a whole bunch of companies have been coming out and doing things and acting in certain ways as if they won't face consequences for their action. Consequences for what the things that they do. Ever since that happened. Well, guess what? You're facing consequence. You will face consequences. And you know what? This company that is attacking Jim, they're going to find out why. They're going to find out why Digital Homicide lost. They're going to find out what happens when you do crap like this. We're not going to put up with this. And he's definitely not going to put up with this. I know that most of us would not put up crap with like this. When I do a review or talk about a game, I try to give it the benefit of a doubt. I mean, I haven't done many game reviews, but I try to give a game a benefit of a doubt. I give No Man's Sky definitely a major benefit of the doubt when most other people were freaking out and screaming about John Murray lying to them. But this sort of thing needs to stop. Basically, if you design a game and you're actually building a game, if you're building a game and you're intending for that game to be the best that you can make it, if you're not just trying to throw something out there to see what sticks, if you're not trying to just throw something together to try and just have a money grab, you're just throwing garbage out there to try and see what stupid people will buy your stuff. and you just want to make a really good game, if it's a really good game, people will buy it. If it's garbage, they won't. And you're not entitled to having everyone buy your game. And you're not entitled to high review scores. If people don't like it, tough titty. If someone gives your game a bad score, a bad review, tough titty. Do it better. Fix it. Fix your game. Look at what they say the problems are. Fix them. Don't run to the courtroom. You do, you will find out why digital homicide is gone. Why they don't exist anymore. Period. Short show this week. These past 2 weeks. Short show. What we're going to do is we're going to be going through more news items throughout the past next 2 weeks because PAX East is going on. There's going to be a lot of new announcements. E3 is coming up in the next couple of months. And maybe a few other events that take place before that. So there will be more news, a lot more. So I want to improve the quality of stuff that's put on the show. So I'm going to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try and make things a lot more positive. So this is a rant show. So, from me to all of you guys here in Gamers Bay community, thanks for watching, and I will see you in 2 weeks.